What's up, guys? I've decided to make a series about how to program for yourself because I get asked about it a lot. I'll go over one variable in each video. It's powerlifting focused, but I think the info will be useful for even athletes who aren't training for strength. And I'm going to start with frequency, as it's the first thing I consider, and I think you kind of have to consider it first when deciding your program. So the first obvious constraint is your schedule. How many days per week can you fit in? Ideally, whatever it is, you're going to be able to have your days equally spread out throughout the week. That way you can equally space out your workouts, the ones from the same muscle group especially. If you can't, it's not the end of the world, but that is ideal. Now, when it comes to picking a frequency, both overall and for your individual lifts, I think it's important that you go with the highest frequency that you can still recover from. Now, this is going to be complicated because volume, intensity, and exercise selection will also play a role in how taxing your training is. But as you'll see in my later videos, exercise selection and intensity I won't give as much leeway to in program design, so the only other variable remaining will be volume. Now, it's been shown tons of times in research again and again, if you do more volume, all else being equal, you're going to get better results in terms of strength and hypertrophy. But talking about the real world, it seems more that if we exceed our recovery abilities, this isn't necessarily the case. And this is where people introduce the inverted U relationship. At the top of the U, we make the best progress with our ideal training load. If we go above this ideal training load, we're going to make less progress as we will be under-recovered. And if we go below this ideal training load, we're going to make less progress as we're going to be under-trained. And again, if we manipulate other factors to maximize the training load we can recover from, the better progress we should be making. And frequency, I find, is the easiest way to increase the training load we can do. Let's say we do 10 sets of squats per week. Imagine trying to do all of those in one day. Those later sets are going to be pretty bad because you're just going to be so fatigued. On top of that, if we wait a whole week to work out again for the same muscle or movement, we're probably going to be recovered way before then. So that's a lot of time we're missing out on that we could use on productive training. Now compare that to 10 sets per week on squats, but spread out over 2 days. Each of those days is 5 sets. We can probably make them a lot higher quality on average. On top of that, we could probably fit in a bit of extra volume, say 6 sets per day to 12 sets per week. And now we're doing a bit of extra work, and we're not even making it that much harder to recover from. Now, if we try to take this to the extreme of 2 sets per day, 7 days per week, I don't think this would work better, even though it is 14 sets per week, another 2 more sets than we were doing before. This is because it also seems that the recovery needed between sets is logarithmic. So there does seem to be an upper limit to our frequency, which may take some time to find out. I'm mainly talking physical fatigue here, but don't forget mental fatigue as well. It can be exhausting going to the gym over and over again for some people. Now, people are probably wondering about exact numbers. Everybody always wants exact numbers when I talk about some variable, be it frequency or whatever. The thing about this is I don't want you to blindly follow the number because I said it, because obviously there's individual variation. For powerlifting in general, I would say most people do best with 2 to 3 squat days per week, 3 to 4 bench days per week, and 1 to 2 deadlift days per week, and 4 to 5 days overall. Now, of course, you can experiment and see what frequency works best for you, but here are some variables to consider that will help you find where in the range you should probably be ending up. Generally, the bigger and stronger you are, the less frequency you can handle, given the larger absolute loads. Some people use years of experience, but this just correlates with strength and size, so we can ignore it and cut out the middleman here. If you have a longer range of motion, be it longer limbs for a lift or just being taller in general, again, you tend to need less frequency as a given amount of work will be more taxing for you. If somebody is older and or has lower cardiovascular fitness, they tend to take longer to recover and need lower frequency as well. Also want to consider outside factors that are affecting fatigue and recovery. Do you have a physically demanding job? Do you have a lot of stress, etc.? Keep in mind, while I am generally advocating for higher frequencies here, sometimes less can be more. We don't want to exceed our recovery capabilities. Some lifts are probably going to be more taxing than others as well. A back squat's going to be more fatiguing than a front squat, which would still probably be more fatiguing than a leg extension. Training the lower body tends to cause more systemic fatigue than training the upper body, etc. So that's basically all the considerations that go into frequency. The general rule is we want the highest frequency we can recover from. Mike Tushura made this really simple infographic that we can use to judge this. If we feel good and are progressing good, we're golden. If we're progressing good but we feel bad, we want to be careful we aren't overdoing it. Should probably dial back a bit. If we feel bad and are progressing bad, we're probably overtraining. And if we are progressing bad and feel recovered, we're probably underdoing it. So that is it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, found it useful. Let me know any other frequency related questions you have down below. Next video, I'm going to go into volume. Like I've said before, it's hard to get engagement on long videos versus shorts, so please like, comment, and share the video.